हरि ओम कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं नमामि तं वरदाग्रजं तं पदाम्बुजं यस्य पवित्रकीर्तेः मनांसि वा शीलयति श्रुतीनां वचांसि वा मत्कुलसंभवानां। नमस्सभाये। आज तो रामायण आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग लेक्चर में 18वां दिन है, 18th day and 18th week of lectures on Sri Ramayana art of living. And as the Bhadrapada Masa begins, it's very important to recite the Purana and Itihasa, because in the Kali Yuga, Prathame, first, it was in the month of Bhadrapada, on the banks of Tungabhadra Nadi, there was a Sattvic Jana called Gokarna. He was the first one who did the pravachanam beyond that of Shukabrahma Rishi. Shukabrahma recited Bhagavatam to Parikshita and Ganga Tat में कलियुग प्रारंभ के बाद 40वां वर्ष 40th year after Kali was born, Shukabrahma started reciting Bhagavata to Parikshit. But in southern India, Dakshina Desh mein, after some time, after 100 odd years, on the bank of Tungabhadra, in the month of Bhadrapada, first major pravachana of Itihasa Purana started. So it is such an auspicious month, Bhadrapada Masa. So in this month, in the Shukla Paksha time, we are gathered here at the Hindu Temple of Lubbock to start an important aspect of Sri Ramayana, Ayodhya कांड का प्रवेश. अयोध्या कांड तो धर्म कांड से नाम से माना जाता है. So बालकांड तो यज्ञ कांड है, वो तो कर्म. Whereas Ramayan is the मूल for धर्म. वेद उपब्रह्मणार्थम रामायणम एव, वाल्मीकि का वचन. So Ayodhya Kanda is known as Dharma Kanda. So you can see the sacrifice of a father, sacrifice of Lord Ramachandra, sacrifice of Sita Ma, Lakshmana ka sacrifice, more importantly Bharata ka sacrifice. So sacrifice is a yajna. Then there are a lot of Dharma Siddhant is Kand mein, is book mein hai. So we are going to start the Prathama Sarga of Ayodhya Kanda. When there are a lot of discussions and debates going on Sanatana Dharma, there is no other Grantha apart from Veda that explicitly talks about Dharma. In Das' opinion is Ramayana. It is Dharma. Ram, Tulsidas गाता है, Ram तो एक रथ में चलता है, उस रथ तो धर्म है. So ये च वेदविदो विप्राः ये च आध्यात्मनः ते वदन्ति महात्मानं कृष्णं धर्मं सनातनं. कृष्ण राम धर्म स्वरूप है. So Ayodhya Kanda begins like that. So where are we? So Ramayana in the art of living lecture today is very important lecture. So somebody wants to be in the politics, somebody wants to be a great management guru, they have to obviously read the first sarga of Ayodhya Kanda. Such a pearls of wisdoms are available in this chapter 1. Ayodhya Kanda to fourth, it is on the 4th day, Lavakusha, in front of Ramachandra, they were singing Ayodhya Kanda. So from 66th Sarga in Balakanda to 9th Sarga, they were singing on the 4th day. Ayodhya Kanda has 51 Sargas. I always talk about math. So Valmiki is such a mathematician as well, of course magician as well in a way. So he is able to attract us by Anushtup. 32 letters, that's all each sloka. Ayodhya Kanda has 51 sargas. To make that it is 51 sarga, he shows that, he highlights this in his Prathama sarga. What a mathematical genius he is. He aptly uses 51 slokas in Prathama sarga to indicate that this Dharma Kanda is going to be made up of 51 sargas. So that is Ramayan ka dusra book. Ramayan, somebody wants to be in politics, somebody wants to improve themselves, they have to study this Prathama Sarga. So Ramayan, a personal and political guidebook. This Sarga alone is a political and a personal guidebook. So Atmaneethi Evam Rajaneethi ka SandharshikA. It is Sundara SandharshikA. So that is Ayodhya Kanda. So 12 years have passed. Rama and Lakshmana were married, and in 11,000 years of Rama's life, or 13,000 according to Vyasa, only 12 years they were happy. That 12 years is the only one where Ram or Ma, Sita were happy all the time. Of course, dharmic dharma ke aadhar par they were living well. So that 12 years has passed, and then the story begins. So after Rama married Sita and Lakshmana married Urmila, Bharatato Mandavi and Shatrughna Srutakirti, Bharata immediately went to Yudhajit, Kaikeyi des wo chal gaye. He also took with him his Anuj, Shatrughna. So Rama or Lakshmana, Ma or Baap ke dekhkar, they were helping Dasaratha for 12 years. So that is the story where we are. Arundhane Rushandhe Brugukula Tilake Samkramya Swatejo Yate Yatosya Yodhyam Sukamiha Nivasan Kantaya Kantamurte. This is very important. Narayana Bhattatri says, this is the only time. Yatosya Ayodhyayam Sukam iha nivasan kantaya kant sukam iha nivasan. They were happily living just 12 years. Shatrugnenai kadato gatavati bharate matulasya divasam tatarabdho abhishekastava kila vihata kekayadisha putraya. So the entire story of Ayodhya Kanda, Bhattatri sings in one important sloka. Tataha arabdhaha abhishekaha tava kila vihataha. Vihataha means it got ruined. By who? The girl of Kaikeyi Raja. So that is the story where we are. So what is this? So Dasaratha thinks about getting his son Yavvarajya Pattabhishekam. Whereas in Tamil, Kamban says Rama was to be anointed as the king, but Valmiki says he was going to be anointed as a Yavvaraja. So, because people were interested, so many pearls. We'll try to do this from management point of view today. So many pearls. So, even though this was a monarchy, it was not autocracy. Dasaratha could do anything he wants, but he listens to people. Ichcha mohi mahabahum Raghuviram mahabhalam Gajena mahatayantam Ramam Satraavrutananam. So people came, people were talking, in a way gossiping. Ichcha mohi mahabahum Raghu, when Dasaratha was ruling, he was ruling well. But then people started talking in the street, Janapad mein, in the street, Nagar mein, in village, Janapad mein or Nagar mein, people started talking. It is not that they were unhappy with Dasaratha. They thought that the world will be much better if Rama takes the reins and rules, of course with the advice of Dasaratha. They never knew that Dasaratha is going to go away soon. Ichcha mohi mahabahum Raghuviram mahabalam gajena mata yantam Ramam Chatraavrutananam. People were talking according to Valmiki. So how it starts? A dramatical way will begin. So there is a house. That house has a kaksha. The house has a room. And that room was lit by a dhiya with tail. So there was a lamp that was lit. when the sun comes in the morning, naturally the light of the diya is nowhere to be seen when you look at sun's rays. So that was the situation of Dasaratha. Nirvishta vishayasneha sadashantamupeyivan asit asanna nirvana pradiparchiriva ushasi. Beautiful. Pradiparchaiva ushasi. Archi means stage. So dashantamupeyivan. When the night goes away, of course the oil evaporates, the wick is only lighting, but then wick also started to slowly die. Dashantam upeyivan, it is slesha. Dasha means wick. Dasha means stages in life. So Dasaratha has come to a stage in life, Dashantam. He has come to a stage that he has to leave taking the monarchy and he has to go to Vanasprastha. Beautiful. Nirvishta vishayasneha sadashantam upeyivan asit asanna nirvana pradiparchihi iva ushasi. Pradiparchahi iva ushasi. Archi mane tejas. In the morning, when ushasi comes, the lights, tejas dims in the presence of sun. This was the situation of Dasaratha. Tam karnamulamāgatya rame sri yasyatamiti. Kalidasa uses a dramatical way. So why did this happen? So the light is going away in the presence of sun. Similarly, days have gone for Dasaratha to rule. He has to go to Vanaprastha. So how did Dasaratha know this? So he goes before a darpana. He goes before a mirror. This is not in Valmiki Ramayanam, but it is Utpreksha for Utpreksha Alankara of Kalidasa, Upama Kalidasasya. So one day, Dasaratha, who has ruled for 60,000 years, goes before an aina, goes before a darpana, and one grey hair starts coming. So if the grey hair comes near the ear, that means you have bodily aged. Whereas if the grey hair comes in some other places, it is due to pitta. Whereas for geriatrics related to age and losing your control of the body, then this grey hair comes near the ear. That Kalidasa notes. He is a Kavi, but in those days people were well skilled. Maybe he talked to a doctor, I don't know. Tam karnamulamāgatya, maybe he consulted Dr. Seshadri. Who knows? Tam karnamulamāgatya rame sri yasyatamiti. That grey hair came. Tam karnamulamāgatya. That hair came near his ears. And then it started telling, hey, I am afraid of Kaikeyi, so you better leave this kingdom and give it to Rama. Because also watch out for Kaikeyi. So it also gives you some blessing, some advice. Kaikeyi shankaye iha ivaha palita chadmana jara jara. The old age came to Dasaratha in the form of grey hair near the ears and said, we are all getting worried about Kaikeyi because I know Kaikeyi is going to do something. So before she takes the reign, before she comes in front of the cart, you jump before the cart and do something. Palita chadmana jara. It's in a way it came in the disguise. Palita chadmana. The old age came and tried to advise Dasaratha that Kaikeyi is going to do something. So you better take in charge and anoint Rama as a Yavvaraja. So these things were happening. It is time. So there is a time under the heaven for doing right things. So Dasaratha got some intuition. According to Kalidasa, the intuition came in the form of grey hair near ears. So, Gacchata matula kulam bharatena tadanagaha shatrugno nitya shatrugnaha nitihi priti puraskritaha. Beautifully, the Ayodhya kanda begins by felicitating and eulogizing Bhagavata. More than Rama, Lakshmana has to be celebrated. More than Lakshmana, Bharata has to be celebrated. But more than Bharata, Shatrughna has to be celebrated because Bharata was Bhagavadottama, whereas Shatrughna was a disciple of Bhagavadottama. So in Sri Vaishnava Dharma, whether it is in Vaishnavism up in north or Sri Vaishnavism up in south, You have to eulogize Bhagavatottama. There is a saying, Jani Janardhana Bhavaha. So there's no other granth to talk about social justice. There's no other granth to talk about equality. We'll see all that. So, Gacchata Matula Kulam Bharatena Tada Anagaha. So, Shatrughna is called Nitya Shatrughnaha. Because Bharata, Lakshmana wanted to go to, even Rama said, don't come to Vana. But Lakshmana, even though he wanted to Kainkaryam, for him the Swartha rule. He wanted to be a servant to Rama. Whereas when Rama said to Bharata, I'm not going to return, you take my Paduka and keep that as my representative, he listened. More than that, Shatrughna never said anything. He went behind Bharata. So, Gacchata Matula Kulam Bharatena Tada Anagaha. So, Shatrughna is devoid of any papa. Whereas Bharata also had an interest. He wanted Rama to come. Lakshmana had an interest that he wanted to serve. So what did he do? He did a trick. Ghadam Nibhidya Raghunandana. Beautiful sloka. Prapatti. So Gujarati log bhi Prapatti ka itna mahatva karte hai. So Lakshmana did Prapatti in the presence of Sita Mata. So all he saw in his entire life on about Sita was only her foot. So he went and then embraced the feet of Rama along with Sita. Ghadam Nibhidya Raghunandana. Held firmly so that Ma will not refuse him. So there was some Swartha. Whereas for Shatrughna, there is nothing there. So Bharata went. He was living there 12 years. And Rama and Lakshmana were living with Dasaratha for 12 years. Even though Bharata and Shatrughna were living away from father for 12 years, Dasaratha was always attracted and he equally spread love to all four of his sons. Ubhau Bharata Shatrughnau Mahendra Rudra Mahendra Varunopamau. Both Rama and Lakshmana were Mahendra and Varuna. So Indra and Varuna are inseparable. Similarly, Rama and Lakshmana were inseparable. Similarly, Bharata and Shatrughna were inseparable. So this is the story. So then it says, then Dasaratha was thinking, why should I anoint Rama? When he was thinking about Rama, first and foremost, the thing that attracted Dasaratha was his Yavvana Saundaryam, Ramayati iti Ramaha. Second is his Dharma Swarupam, Saundara Rajam Asraye Gaja Vrindavana Saranga Varadarajam Saundara Rajam Ashraye Gaja Vrindavana Saranga Varadarajam Ashraye. So Gaja Vrinda Saranga Vrindavana Rajam. So as soon as this elephant cried, Hey Jagannath Atimula, after 1,000 years of struggling by himself, Lord came. Gaja Vrindavana Saranga Varadarajam Saundarya Rajam Asraye. In Vrindavan Sarang Rag mein ye to prasiddha geet hai. So people first, when you think about Rama, is Saundaryam. Sahi devai rudirnasya ravanasya vadhartibhi arthito manushe loke jagne Vishnu Sanatana. Once Dasaratha thought, this guy is not an ordinary person. Arthito manushe loke jagne Vishnu Sanatana Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. These people say that Sanatana is not referenced. So many places Sanatana is referenced. Sanatana means uska Adi Ant ko हम जैसे लोग ने, we are not able to understand the Adi and the Ant of Dharma. But it is based on one particular Dharma. It's like a backbone is Dharma. But it doesn't mean that it will not evolve. That Valmiki Ramayana says, will take to that. Rama, why Dasaratha liked Rama was, even though He is used to strictly follow what Vasishtha and others say, but when it is needed, he will like to change the direction a bit, because to base on that particular kala. If somebody reads this particular Ayodhya Kanda, Prathama Sarga, every school should teach this Prathama Sarga. So that is Sanatana. He says this guy is Sanatana Vishnu, none other than Vishnu. Artito manushe loke jagye Vishnu Sanatana. Why did he come? He came Sahi devaihi udhirnasya ravanasya. Ravana's ego. Udhirnaha mane ego. He wants to quell the ego of Ravana. Vadartibi arthito manushe loke jagne Vishnu sanatana. Now Dasaratha found that this is Vishnu. If I give the reins to none other than Vishnu, this loka will be much better. So, Sahi rupopannascha viryavan anasuyakaha. From 9th sloka, 27 slokas it is about Rama's guna. Valmiki Ramayana's Prathama Sarga in Balakanta begins Ko Nasmin Sampratam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavan. So, Valmiki asks Narada, tell me about these 16 characters for a living human being. So, Prathama Kanda Balakanta to Ramaka Guna Vivaran. Similarly, in Ayodhya Kanda, from 9th sloka until 27 slokas after 9th sloka, it is all about Atmaneethi. It is all about Raja Dharma, which are all epitomized by Ramachandra. Sahi rupopannascha viryavan anasuyakaha bhumavanupamaha sunu gunai dasharatopamaha. So he is the one who is anasuyakaha. He doesn't have jealousy. That is very important. Kausalya sushubetena putrena amita tejasa yata varena devanam. Like Aditi gave birth to Indra, Kausalya gave birth. So this is all contemplation of Dasaratha. So Valmiki makes this first sarga as a contemplation of thoughts of Dasaratha on Sri Rama. First he says, Viryavan. A king has to have courage. But then his courage should not be used to go and quell somebody because he is jealous of that particular kingdom which is rich. Anasuyakaha bhuma vanupamaha. There is nobody who can equate to Rama in his characters. Sacha nityam prashantatma mrudupurvam tubhashate. Beautiful. We all say howdy, how are you? That is the first act we do. So Rama did that. See, first thing he says, he is anasuyakaha, he is viryavan. Sacha nityam prashantatma, he was always happy in himself. So when you are satisfied, you don't have to go and conquer something. Your expectations are minimal. Look, these are all Atma Guna. What did we say? This is basically Atmaneethi SandharshikA. So we will start with Atma. What are the personal traits one people should do? Anasuyakaha. We should not be jealous of others. We should not compare ourselves with others. Sacha nityam prashanta atma mruduhu purvam tu bhashate. Ramaha mrudu bhashi. You can be a sweet talker, but you should be the first one to exchange pleasantry. You should not wait. Why can't he say good morning, then I say? Valmiki makes this. Each sloka is a management text. This alone is a PhD subject. See, sacha nityam prashantatma mrudu purvam tu bhashate mrutu bhashate evam purva bhashate. Beautiful. So he says, how are you? Eppadi irkeenga? So we have to ask namaste, good morning, hello, right? So mrudupurvam tu bhashate uchyamanopi parusham notharam pratipadyate. So you don't show your anger, parusham. You don't show your anger. Notharam pratipa. Even if somebody shows, you don't retaliate. What a beautiful thing. He says, Uchyamanopi parusham na uttaram pratipadyate. You don't show, you don't retaliate. You take time to respond. Isn't it good? So you talk to your board. You are not getting, you are negotiating. You are not getting what you want. You should not retaliate. You should hold your tongue. That Valmiki says, Katanchit upakarena kritenaikena tushyati. If somebody did, so hold your tongue. Don't let others know what you think. This is an art of management. One of the greatest lessons in management, they say, is don't let others know what you think. So keep yourself, hold yourself. Then always say thank you. Valmiki says Rama did katanchit upakarena kritena ekena tushyati. Even if somebody did something to you once, ekena tushyati, he will be very happy. In Tamil they say oviyama pugar. Used flowery words. So katanchite upakarena kritena ekena tushyati nasmaratyapi upakaran nasmarati apakaranam satamapi. Even if somebody did 100 times apakara, if you did one upakara, Rama used to price like anything. Imagine, on contrary, if somebody did shatam, 1000 or 100 apakara, upakara ka opposite apakara, nasmarati, he will not even think about it, he will forget. Even you do 100 harm to me, I don't worry. I'm only going to take the high road. We say that you always take the high road. See, each sloka, people forget to read this sarga. Ayodhya Kanda ka pratama sarga is very important. Sheela vriddhair jnana vriddhaihi vayo vriddhais sajjanaihi. So then you have to associate with good people. Sheela vriddhaihi. Vriddha here means people who are experienced. Sheela, experience, grade, hair matters a lot. So you have to associate with somebody with good character. Sheela vriddhaihi jnana vriddhaihi vayo vriddhaischa sajjanaihi. But then it doesn't mean that you have to associate with yourself just he is great or she is great. Sajjanaihi, pearls. Each Sanskrit sloka, only in Sanskrit you can club all this in 32 letters. Shira vriddhaihi jnana vriddhaihi vayo vriddhaischa sajjanaihi katayannastavai nityam. So he used to talk to Katayan daily. You have to go, you should not, that's the thing, you should not discard somebody that is of no use because he is old, though sit somewhere yonder. No, Katayani, he used to sit and talk with them. Of course, after he does his work, that's what Valmiki says. Nityam astrayogan antareshwapi. After he did his daily ritual. He was a Kshatriya, so he has to practice his archery. After he did that, he will not neglect his daily duty. He will do his daily duty and then go and take care of people who are Vayo Vriddhaha, Jnana Vriddhaha, Sheela Vriddhaha. See? Buddhiman Madhura Bhashi Purva Bhashi Priyam Vadaha. So, Purva Bhashi. You can be the one who is going to talk, but then you should not show anger. How are you? You should not do. Purva Bhashi, but it should be Mridu Bhashi, Madhura Bhashi, Priyam Vadaha, Viryavan Nacha Viryena Mahata Svena Vismitaha. You should not show your Veera to somebody. Viryavan Nacha Viryena. You should not show your courage. You should not go and say that I have done this to a weak person, to a meek person. You should work on par. Viryavan nacha viryena mahata svena vismitaha. Dasaratha knows this. Then why did Valmiki make it a point to bring this as if it was done by Dasaratha? It is for us. Dasaratha, Valmiki uses Dasaratha to preach to us. There are two sets of traits one should develop. Atma Guna and then Rajaneethi Guna. So Rajaneethi mane how to live in the society. So Valmiki makes it a point that this is a Dharma Grantha. Dharayati iti Dharma. So if you read Ramayana, so people say Ram did this, Ram. No, Ram did everything what we want today. Social justice, we'll see this. Equality. Who else can do something like what he did to Guha? Who else can do something like what he did to Kevat? Kevat was Guha's servant. He said, hey Ram, you make sure you clean your feet before you get into the nav, before you get into the boat. You better stand there, clean your feet and come. Rama listened. So Guha Kevat ka, he was so, nobody befriended with people like Guha. Nobody befriended like Rama with people like Kevat. Nobody befriended with people who are like monkeys like Sugriva. Can you believe he befriended with Vibhishana, who was a Rakshasa? Then he went to the house of Shabari. So this in Tamil, there was a great bhakti poet in Tamil called Tirumangayalvar. Beautiful. So everybody knows Sri Rangam, which is Bhuloka Vaikunta. So he goes to see that Lord in Sri Ranga. Then when he sees the Lord in Sri Ranga, who is in Yoga Nidra, then he just brings this. Why would he bring the Rama story when he is seeing Sri Rangam? It's a great Vaishnava, it's Divya Desa. He says, this man, this Lord who is residing in Sri Ranga is the one who is in Paramapada, in Vaikunta. He had come here to be a refuge to us. So, how did he do that? He did this in Vibhava. He did this in Avatara when he was Rama. Magan Yennadu Irangi Matravarku Innarul Surandu Majaiman Madanoki Untori Umbi Embi En Odindilai. So this guy, Yedalan, he didn't see when he was Rama. He didn't care. Somebody was rich, somebody was poor. He even befriended with Guha, who was like in jungle. Jungle Meta. He didn't see anybody. Then more importantly, he introduces Sita Ma to Guha. What he says? Hey Guha, this is your sister. Who was Sita? Sita was Videha Kanya, right? Sita was Videha Kanya, and then he introduces Sita to Guha, and Guha says, who is this? He asks Rama. She is your sister. Edalan Kilmagan Yennadu Irangi Matravarku Innarul Surandu Majaiman Madanoki. Sita was a beautiful lady. Her eyes were like a Mrigadarshini. She was like a deer's eye. Majaiman Madanoki Untori. She is your sister, she is your friend. Who will say? Now we talk about social justice, equality. Can you see? In some Yugantar me yeto katha. Untori umbi. Who is Lakshmana? He is your brother. That is the guna of, that is what we need to understand. So, Nacha Anruta Katho Vidwan, he will never say lie. Ramko Vokamata Vokabhana. Oru vil, oru sol, oru il. So he is the only one where when he say Ramaha dvirna abhibhashate, dvihi na abhibhashate, he will not even twist his tongue. When he says I will do, it is done. Ramaha dvirna abhibhashate. So nacha anrita kato vidwan vruddhanam pratipujakaha, because of his truthness, righteousness, dharma. What is dharma? Dharayati iti dharma. So Rama is an embodiment of Dharma. Dharma visvasya jagatah pratishta loke dharmishtam praja upasarpanti. Veda says, Rama did. Loke dharmishtam praja upasarpanti. If only people will go to people, loke, in this world, dharmishtam praja upasarpanti. If you understand Veda's meaning, you don't have to go and chase any other book. In this world, loke dharmishtam. It is only people who live by dharma, others will follow. Praja upasarpanti. Dharmena papamapanudhati. Dharme sarvam pratishtitam. Tasmaat dharmam paramam vadanti. So this Ved Shabd ka misal, this Ved Shabd ka model to Ramachandraha. So he was dharmishtam. So everybody went to see him. We saw that Ichamohi Mahabhagum Raghuviram Mahabalam. Then he always took care of his health. He was not a glutton. Arogya Taruno Vagmi Vapusham. So here Valmiki says, so you say that all this text doesn't talk about health. It talks Arogya Taruno Vagmi Vapusham. See, why would Valmiki do all this? Imagine, 9 from 9 up to 35 or 36 slokas, he talks about it. We know that he is going to live according to Dharma. He doesn't talk lie. He always talks truth. Then you should also take care of health. You are the Yavaraja. You are going to be the heir apparent of this kingdom. Then people should imitate you. So you should take care of your body and health. So, Arogya Taruno. So he kept his body well. Tarunaha, Taruna Sampannaha, Rupaha, Taruna Sampannaha. Arogya Taruno Vagmi Vapushman Deshakalavit. Vapushman Deshakalavit. He knows what to do. Vapuhu means body. He knows what to do in what time. Arogya Taruno Vagmi Vapushman Deshakalavit Loke Purushasarajnyaha. Then you need to read other people. This is where political neeti comes. He knows by seeing. That is why he befriended with Sugriva. Because Vali could accomplish much more than Sugriva in terms of valor. But why did he kill Vali and then befriend with Sugriva? There is Dharmartha there. But still, if you look at it, that he says, Loke Purushasarajnyaha. Purushasarajnyaha. He knows how to read people. If you know what is going on in somebody's mind, right? If you know what is he going to do next in the board meeting, then you can see Loke Purushasarajnyaha Sadhureko Vinirmita. How much Valmiki would have thought? One sarga, 51 slokas, words. So you can be truthful. You know how to tactfully talk. But you should read somebody. This is very important in terms of ruling a country. You should know. That's what they say when the President of the United States goes and meets the President of Russia. One of the things they say, I know him. The personal chemistry, the personal touch. I know him. So more than other diplomatic things, if you have the chemistry between one particular leader, another leader, iska jama ban hona chahiye. They should have that kind of chemistry. That he says, Loke Purusha Sarajnyaha Sadhureko Vinirmitaha Satusretha Gunair Yuktaha Prajanam Parthivatmajaha Bahihichara Iva Prano Bhabuva Gunata Priya. So he knows how to attract his people. So they all fell for Rama and they were thinking, Rama is there, so my life is walking there. Bahischara Iva Prano Charati means walk. Bahi. My life is walking there. So who will nobody will be more attracted than their prana. Wife, son and all secondary. Everybody cares for their prana. So people thought that my life is Rama. Bahihi chara iva prano babu. What a Upama Valmiki uses. So people thought because of all these traits of Rama, he is my prana. Mama pranaihi pandavaha. Krishna says in Mahabharata. Dvishadannam na bhoktavyam. I will not eat in Duryodhana's place, even though there is no enmity between Duryodhana and me, because he is an enemy of my enemy, is my enemy. Mama pranaihi pandavaha. The same thing Vyasa borrows from Valmiki. Because everybody gets attracted to the prana first. Bahischara iva prano babuva gunataha priyaha. People got attracted because of Rama's guna. Kalyana abhijanaha sadhu dinaha satyava grujaha. So he used to take care of people. Ruja means honesty. Satyavak, ruju mane arjava. Arjavam, that is truth. He was always truth. So he was always truthful, and because of that he was born in a very good clan. Kalyana bhijanaha sadhu dinaha adinaha. Sadhu adinaha. Rama is good, Rama is pleasant, Rama doesn't retaliate, Rama doesn't talk harshly, but don't underestimate him. Never underestimate your enemy. Valmiki uses this. Adinaha. He is not a weak person. Don't think that he is weak in mind and weak in body. See, Kalyana abhijanaha sadhuhu adina satyavak rujuhu dharma kamartha tattvajnaha smritiman pratibhanavan. He always talked about dharma. He will only do according to dharma. But then if Dharma has certain codes which are rigid, but will it hold today good? He will not deviate from Dharma, but this is the beautiful phrase to counter people talking about Sanatana Dharma, that it is rigid, it is age-old. No, we have to read Valmiki. This is the one phrase from Valmiki Ramayana is like a trump card for us. What he says, Laukike samayachare krita kalpa visharadaha. Samayachare, laukike. In this world, in this present world, if things change, even though Rama relies on Dharma, laukike samayachare krita kalpaha, he will bend a little bit rules to suit to the requirements of that particular kala. Why has many pravachak missed this to counter Sanatana Dharma? That's why you have to read Padapade. Laukike samayachare krita kalpa visha. He was good at adapting. So people say Sanatana Dharma is rigid. That is there, this won't fit. Dharma. What is Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma is way of living based on Sathya. As long as you don't deviate from Sathya, you could go around a bit to suit to the requirements of that particular God. Valmiki Ramayan gives us the authority. Laukike samayachare krita kalpo visharadaha nibritaha samvritakaro gupta mantraha. Samvritakaro, he will hold himself. Nibritaha, he was not arrogant. Imagine, this is a political thing. Samvritakaraha means he will control, he will be composed, he won't let people know what he is thinking, and then he will guard his words. Gupta mantraha. Very important for political needs. Nibritaha, don't show your arrogance. That's what something is happening in Eastern Europe now. Somebody showed arrogance. Samvritakaraha, hold, be composed. Don't let others know by your words or actions what you are thinking or doing. Gupta mantraha. Keep, Gupta means God. Guard your speech. Sahayavan. Amoga krodha harshascha. Amogaha means he will not waste his anger. Moga means to waste. Amoga means not to waste. He will not waste his anger. Amogaha krodha harshascha. Same thing, he will not waste his joy. Harsha mane joy. So he won't waste his joy. Whenever he used to use his joy, he will use it. And whenever he needs to control the anger, he will control. Amogaha krodha harshascha tyagasam. Tyaga samyak kalaviti. Whenever he needs to do tyaga, he will do. This is what Valmiki used this, and he is going to explain this when he gave his kingdom. You know, it was his right. He was the Jeshta Putra, it was his right to get Ayodhya. But he gave it without even thinking. And Kamban in Tamil says, when Kaikeyi calls, hey Ram, your father said that you should leave the country and go to the forest and be there on 14 years. You should not take anything. Valkadhari, you should use only the thing from the bamboo tree. His face did not change. In fact, it blossomed. Andre alarnda taamarayai vendradamma. As if his face blossomed, as if the lotus petals blossomed by seeing the sun. Andalarnda taamarayai vendradamma. That was it. Amogaha. So the same thing he acts following. Amoga krodha harshascha tyaga samyak kalavit. Then he was never idle. He did always something, 8 hours. You should keep on doing. Dhrida bhakti strita prajnaha na sadgrahi na durvachaha na asadgrahi. He will not suffer fools gladly. That word is na asat. He will not be close to asat grahi. He will not go and be close to people who are of asat. Asatya evam, who are not capable. Asat grahi na. See, you don't suffer fools gladly. This one word Valmiki says, this sarga, read and read and read. Management gurus will go fail here. Drida bhakti stira prajna na sadgrahi na durvachaha. Then he says, he won't get angry and he will never be idle. And when he is never be idle and he is so sweet, don't think that he can be cheated. You cannot consider Rama to be that weak to be cheated. So then, what all the things? Personal traits, political traits. Shastrajnaha kritajnaha purushantara kovitaha yaha pragrahan anugraho. So he will not go and steal things from somebody. He will not go and take things from somebody, because Valmiki makes it a point that he was a great king. He was a son of a great king. That doesn't mean he can go and take things from somebody else. He cannot go and grab things. It is apt today. After 3 yugs, we are seeing this happening. One sarga is enough. If somebody teaches this in management school, it is fine. So, Sathya Sangraha Pragrahano, then he says, don't think he has all these characters. He is very good with money. Important. Gujaratis, you don't have to teach them what to do, right? So, Aya Karmana, Ayaka, he was very good, Aya Karmana. Whatever has to be done to save and bring money. Aya Karmani, Upayagyaha. He knows how to improve his yashchakar. Samdrishtavyaya karma with, then he knows how to spend based on what is required. Samdrishtavyaya karma with, beautiful one phrase. It's a pearl. Aya karman upayagyaha. He knows upaya. He knows what are the things he has to do to make the bounty rich, his kingdom rich. We are all struggling, budget balancing. He knows how to do. Aya karman upayagyaha samhrishta vyaya karma with, one line. It's hidden. See? Sreshtyam shastram samuheshu prapto vyamisrakeshu cha artha dharmo. He was capable. He mastered economics. You don't have to go to Chicago Booth School. You read Ramayana. Artha dharmo cha sangrihya sukha tantro cha alasaha. He was not lazy. Na alasaha. Alasyam. You know alasyam? That comes from here. So, this, you should not sleep. You should be proactive. You should improve your exchequer. वो तो भंडार को बहुत बढ़िया करो. आय कर्मण्युपायज्ञः समदृष्ट व्यय कर्मवित्. And then after that, if you sleep, numbers will not match. You have to be always attentive. Stock market. That's what he says. Go up and down, so you should not sleep. You should be always watchful. That's what Valmiki says. Sukatantro na cha alasaha. This exactly same thing Valluvar talks when he talks about Irai Machi, how to rule. Tungamai kalvi tunivu udamai immoonrum ninga nilanalbavarku. Tungamai. You should not sleep. Business people watch karo. Valmiki ka shabda na cha alasya. Don't sleep. So I shouldn't tell to Gujaratis, but maybe they borrowed this from Valmiki Ramayana. Artha dharma cha sangrihya. He knows how to collect sangrihya, collect money. Archa dharma cha sangrihya sukatantro nacha alasaha tungamai kalvi tunivudamai immoonrum ninga nilanalbavarku. So you should not sleep, you should be watchful. Vaiharikanam shilpanam vigyartha vibhagavit. Then don't think he's always dry. Don't think he's showing valor. Don't think it's not dry. He's not boring. So he told, so life has to be perfect. So Saturday, Sunday, you have to enjoy. That Valmiki says. Don't think Rama, I told Rama is very good in making money. Rama knows how to attract people. Rama knows how to deal with other countries. He also knows how to enjoy. Vaiharikanam shilpanam. He used to paint and he used to do sculpture. So he is man, perfect. Right? Maryada Purushottama. He is an holistic person. Vaiharikanam means art and entertainment. So he was the Visharada. He was the best of the best artist. Vaiharikanam shilpanam vigyartha vibhagavit arohe vinaye. Then he knows how to drive automobile. Even if it's Tesla, he knows. That also Valmiki says. Imagine, he never left anything unturned. Arohe vinaye chaiva yukto varana vajinam. Not only electric car, he knows everything. Varana vajinam. So then they say, he's good in riding horses. What about elephant? Yes, he knows everything. Arohe vinaye chaiva yukto varana. And he was always careful, drive safely. That also Valmiki says. Arohe vinaye chaiva. This sarga, beautiful. Arohe vinaye chaiva yukto. He knows strategic. He knows how to. He goes on a fast lane. He sees only straight. But then when he needs diversion, he will do that also. So life needs lot of diversions, which he says, Arohe vinaye chaiva yukto varana vajinam. Read Pada mein madhura madhura itna gambhir hai life ke liye. So then he knows how to make money. Then he knows how to spend. He knows how to do it strategically. Arohe vinaye chaiva yuktaha. He knows yukti. He knows strategy. Yukti mane strategy. Then yattalum, yittalum, kattalum, kattavaguttalum valladarasu. It doesn't matter whether Tirukural or Ramayana or Ved. Those are all great texts. What management text you need? Yattalum, you know how to make money. Then you need to strategize. That is the term called yattal. Then once you strategize, you need to act. What is it called? Execution. You may be good in writing policies, but policies have to be executed. That's where things fail. Yattal, then yittal, then kattal. Katta vaguttalum, then how to spend, how to implement. Katta vaguttalum valladarasu. Isn't it? So, Dhanurveda vidam shreshto loke atirata sammataha abhiyata prakarta cha sena naya visharada. So, from 9 to 34 slokas, Valmiki has poured everything for life. Then he says, I have tried my best to give this much. I don't know what else can I say. Ye taistu bahurbi yuktam gunaihi anupamaihi sutam gunaihi anupamaihi. So from 9 to 34 slokas, if you count, it will come to 26 slokas. So in 26 slokas, by way of talking about Rama's guna, Rama's health, Rama's diplomacy, Rama's political astuteness, is giving us, doctors will fail before Rama's health. Right? So one doctor came late. It's okay. Etaistu bahubihi yuktam gunaihi anupamaihi sutam. Gunaihi anupamaihi sutam. Drishtva Dasaratha Raja Chakre Chintam Parantapa. Everything is there. Then what is the purpose of me sticking here? Surely people are better to judge than me. He has gunaihi anupamaihi. My son has extreme gunas. Etaistu bahubihi yuktam gunaihi anupamaihi sutam drishtva. He was imagining and he saw Rama coming. Then he says, I have thought about all these gunas and you are walking before me. Drishtva. Drishtva Dasaratha Raja Chakre Chinta. Whatever he thought, he is going to execute. Chintam Chakre. Chintayamasa. He is not simply thinking. He is going to immediately act. Ataragno babu Evam vriddasya chirijivana. Priti resha katam ramo raja syanmai. Why am I living without making him Raja? I have lived long. Chirajivinaha. I have lived long. There is time. See, that is Tyaga. The first Dharma is to give. So Dasaratha thinks, I don't have to hold to this office anymore. If every politician thinks like that, world will be better. See, he says, Athara agno babu vaivam vriddasya chirajivanaha priti resha katam ramu priti. With happiness, it is time I step aside. If somebody knows that it's time to do, it's time to step aside, there won't be problem in any executive committees. Yesha hi asya para priti hridi samparivartate kadaha nama sutam. Why am I not thinking? Why have I not thought to make him Yavvaraja. Imagine how beautiful this sarga is. Vriddhi kamo hi lokasya sarvabhuta anukampanaha. Vriddhi kamaha hi lokasya. So why? If somebody has these qualities, two things, what did we say? One important thing is laukike samayachare kritakalpa visharadaha. He is able to adapt himself. An important trait for any leader is adaptability. That Valmiki says, laukike samayachare kritakalpa visharadaha. Then a leader should always think about others. He should not think about himself. Rama did that. Dasaratha did that, but bit late, after 60,000 years. Don't ask me, that was he. But Rama is better than Dasaratha. So he gave it. How old was he when Rama went to the forest? 26 years. 14 plus 12, 26 years. Whereas Dasaratha was 60,000 to relinquish his kingdom. Rama was just 26 years. Why? Because he always thought about the welfare of the society. I talked about, people talk about social justice, equality. Who else is an epitome of this? People should read Valmiki Ramayana. It doesn't matter whether it's in Gujarati or whether it is in Bengali, Kritibas or Giridharadas or Ezhuthachan. Doesn't matter. All talk about this. Ramayana is a living text. Vriddhi kamaha. He is going to generate employment. Kamaha vriddhi. Economic empowerment, economic development, Rama did. Vriddhi kamaha hi lokasya sarvabhuta anukampa means compassionate. Social justice, equality, where else you want? Vriddhi kamaha hi lokasya sarvabhuta anukampanaha mattav priyataro loke parjanya iva vrishtima. If somebody is like that, he will be well liked. What else you need? How to be the next president of the United States? How to win the next election in Bharat? Read this first sarga. You have to be liked by people. When will people like you? If you give up everything and do things for others. Vriddhi kamo hi lokasya sarvabhuta anukampana. You have to be compassionate towards everybody. Sarvabhuta anukampana. Imagine, Valmiki is not an average poet. Mattaha priyataro loke parjanya iva vrishtiman. So if you are like that, people will like you as if the rain is liked by clouds. Clouds cannot survive without rain, and rain will not happen without clouds. So parjanyaha means cloud, vrishtimane rain. So if somebody has this vriddhi kama aur anukampana, if somebody thinks for loka kalyan, that's why we say Rama Rajya. If somebody studied this sarga, rebut me if I am wrong in whatever I said so far. If somebody read this, Kautalya should have read this. There's no need of Rajaneethi book. This is a constitution in itself. Vriddhi kamaha sarva bhuta hitaha. Then anukampana, compassionate to others. Then people will like. That is the reason Dasaratha comes to conclusion. That is the reason mattaha priyataraha. So compared to me, people are liking him. Priya priyataraha priyatamaha. People are relatively liking Rama because he has everything. I had to take 60,000 years to relinquish my asti. Whereas this kid, when time comes, he is going to give it just like that, and he didn't even think about it. Name somebody in the world who could do this. That is it. Right? That is Ramayana. Matta priyataro lake parjanya iva vrishtiman. So, then he says, then Dasaratha says he made a decision. Then what he says, he brings people. Only 2 people he didn't call. That also a great thing. You should not push things to your own family. Grandmother will always like grandson or granddaughter. So you should ask about the talent of the grandson to the next neighbor's grandma. So Valmiki says that when he wanted to do this, he brought everybody. Chota Mota kingdom say, Rajo or Janapad say, or Nagar say, even villages. Janapad mane village, Nagar mane Nagar. He brought people from Janapadi, he brought people from city. But he omitted two people, one Kaikeyi's family and Janaka's family. He writes like that. This Sarga, he did not leave any stone unturned. So he made sure that he will not invite Kaikeyi, Yujadhit. He made sure he will not invite Janaka, because Janaka is going to talk about, because that is his own Jamata, his own son-in-law. So it doesn't. So he brought everybody and then kept everybody, and then he said, I am going to make this. Are you okay with it? See, Dasaratha was a great monarch. He even went in support of Indra. That's the reason this Kaikeyi got these two vows, right? So, but he did not take the decision. He brought the representatives. So, where is democracy? This is democracy. Even though it was monarchy in its full swing, this is an actual democracy, the way you do things in the cabinet. He brings people from, some representatives from villages, kings, and representative from city, and he says, these are, then he is laying before them the facts about Rama. Everybody knows. But he says, these are the characteristics I have observed in Rama, his personal traits and the traits that are needed for leadership. Are you okay with it? So he assembled all, and then Valmiki finishes. He assembled this kind of people in that Bhadi Sabha mein, as if Indra was assembling all the devatas. There is a difference. Indra will not ask the advice of other Chota Moto devatas. Whereas Valmiki makes sure that Dasaratha asks them. So this is the Dharma Grantha. So this particular Sarga has 51 slokas. Each one should be etched in a golden plate. Because you have to make people happy. Happiness is the basis of Dharma. We'll finish with Kautilya saying, Sukasya moolam dharma. So he didn't push, he didn't ramrod. He wanted Rama. He could have pushed it through. But he wanted everybody to buy in, the concept of buy-in. Sukasya moolam dharma. He did it in a dharmic way. And then dharmasya moolam arthaha. You need to have a purpose. Dharma needs to have a purpose. Artha mane vitta, money. But here you should take it as a goal. Dharma has a goal to make sure sarvam dharmam pratishthitam. Everything is rest on dharma. Sukasya moolam dharma, dharmasya moolam arthaha. Then if you have certain principles, certain goals, then only a country can survive. Like equity, justice, universality, compassionate, all this. Sukasya moolam dharma, dharmasya moolam arthaha, arthasya moolam rajyam. Rajyasya moolam indriyanam vijayaha. That is very important. If you have a kingdom, the kingdom should be in a way that everybody doesn't go and bite others, eat others. That's what is happening in Eastern Europe. Rajyasya moolam. What is a kingdom? Kautilya says in Arthasastra, it is not a kingdom if somebody goes out of greed and takes away somebody's thing. This is happening. When are these written? So can you tell me a text and a dharma where you have so much time is not there? In 100 years you cannot capture. This sarga alone is a PhD thesis. Sukasya moolam dharmaha, dharmasya moolam arthaha, arthasya moolam rajyaha. Why we all come to United States? Betterment of life. Right? That is arthasya moolam rajya. And then rajyasya moolam, it will let you live peace. You don't have to worry what will happen if I leave my door open. Sometimes Madhav leaves the back door open. Nothing happens in here. Maybe Lubbock is good. So, rajyasya moolam indriyanam vijayam. One sarga, Janma Sapalyam. Pavamana sutudu patu padara vindamulaku ninama rupamulaku nitya jaya mangalam. Mangalam Kosalendrai మగనీయ గుణాబ్ధయే చక్రవర్తి తనూజాయ సార్వభౌమాయ మంగళం లోకా సమస్త సుఖినో భవంతు సమస్త సన్మంగళాని సంతు శుభం.